Wait, do you know Maddie Ziegler from Dance Moms? No.
Dance Moms?
Yeah. She does stuff for Sia, like in her music videos, and Shia LaBeouf made an appearance.
Okay. Well, I know who Shia LaBeouf is.
Okay. You've never seen the weird music video of him dancing in like a cage? It might be a dome cage.
I've seen a lot of weird videos of him, but not that one.
Okay.
So he's dancing to Sia. Or
dancing is a loose term. He's interpreting. I don't know. It was just a very weird music video because it also had Maddie Ziegler in it.
I don't know who Maddie Ziegler is either.
Oh my gosh.
Why don't I know these people?
I don't even know if I'm saying her last name right, but you've never seen Dance Moms? I'm just kidding.
Well, I can picture the last name in my head, and I still don't know it. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, she's like the biggest star, I think. The biggest star that made it. But then JoJo Siwa made it. But a lot of people are like, she was on Dance Moms because she wasn't a big star on Dance Moms, but she's a big star now.
Okay, Shia LaBeouf, can I just... Don't let your dreams be dreams. I love that whole thing.
Is that the one where he's speaking? Or like, it's like Shia LaBeouf.
Well, that's a different one.
Okay, well, that's what I like.
Yeah.
I don't...
That one's funny.
You're talking about like the green screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's like a shortened version of it that's really cool, but that goes on for like a 10-minute video or something. Have you ever seen the lengthened? I don't recommend it, but it's kind of weird to see how long it goes.
I recommend it. Welcome to The Wardrobe. This is the Who You Know podcast. I'm Rylan Deemer.
And I'm Elisa Wilde.
We've got a great show for you all today. We are going to talk about gene editing. Yes. And how we feel about it ethically, morally, spiritually. We
don't know. Never mind.
We'll talk about it in a minute. We're also going to play a game today, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. And it's the kind of game where there's no real points, but we're going to try really hard to play by the rules anyway and learn a bit more about ourselves and each other.
Hopefully it'll be interesting how it goes because... Yeah, I don't know if my questions are on the same level as yours, so we'll see.
I have some doozies in there,
oh, no.
I think, yeah. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with talking about our dream homes, because we looked at a lot of houses a couple of weeks back and have some thoughts, I think. So yeah, it's going to be a really great show. But what I wanted to say is, do you ever like buy an article of clothing online? Like it looks good. And then it arrives, and it looks like it's just not.
Yeah.
It looks awful and weird. And then you decide to wear it on a podcast anyway.
You don't like it? Is it a new, recently new?
This is my first time wearing it.
Okay.
It's my second time having it on. I tried it on when it arrived. It's my first time wearing it.
But you didn't want to return it if you didn't like it?
Returns are kind of a hassle. It was also too cheap to be worth returning.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. This is my first time wearing this shirt too, but it's because I don't know why.
I feel like you look way more professional than I do. I look
think it's a pretty professional sweater.
Yeah.
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 My earrings are new too. That's why I touched it.
Oh, cool.
But I got them from someone local who makes clay earrings.
Shop local.
Yeah. Should we play the game? Explain the game?
Oh, yeah, we're starting with the game, right? Okay. So, no, you're right. You explain it because you're the one who...
I call this game the 5-second rule. Well, it is a real game that exists, but it's really easy to play without the game. Sorry to the makers. But it's called the 5-second rule, and it just is you read off a category. So, I read Rylan a category on a card, and he has 5 seconds to list 3 things in the category related to the category. And so in the real game, you get a point if you list 3 things, but we're just kind of doing this to see what our answers are because just is the time pressure to think of 3 things that quickly. It seems like a lot of time, but I feel like we'll get stuck trying to think of things really fast. But then it is your instant reaction. So it's kind of, we might dig into the psychology behind some of our answers, whether we know the reasoning for saying it or not. Okay.
I'm expecting this to be a lot of fun. Before we start, though, what do you mean by you were this is actually a real game?
Like people, I don't know what company, like Hasbro, for an example. It's like a maker of this game or something.
Okay.
I don't know who actually makes it though.
Shout out to whoever made this.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe we'll put it in the comments.
And do we alternate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
I would do that. Okay.
Good. Wait, should I shuffle these too?
Mine are in a good order.
Okay.
I don't know if you want yours. You can shuffle them if you want for surprise.
I wrote okay. So I wrote 10. You wrote 10?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I think you should read your category first.
Okay. So I'm just gonna say it.
Wait. Let me. I gotta up my cognitive tempo to achieve here. So.
All right. I'm gonna use my hands to do like 5 seconds.
Okay, go.
Superheroes.
Batman, Spider-Man. Why is that so hard?
It is hard because you just feel the pressure. I don't know. So Batman. And
I had the word nightingale coming through my head. Maybe I should have just said that, but because you wouldn't know that's not a superhero, right?
I would have suspected it's not, but you could have like worked your way into convincing me.
Sure.
Yeah. When you said Spider-Man, Batman, though, I thought you said Superman because that's just what I associate with Batman. But nope.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. I should have said that. But that's funny. I almost had superheroes as one of my cards, but I decided not to.
I think we might. Not that I think we'll have similar categories. I just think we might think of the same thing coincidentally.
Well, let's find out. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Chores.
Cleaning dishes, vacuuming, dusting.
Wow, that's really good.
I think it's because, okay, so when I was writing some of these, I was thinking like, how fast can I say some of these? And I came up, I don't know if I did chores specifically, but I was like, I was having trouble saying 2 things for that. And I'm surprised I said dusting.
Yeah, because I never dust.
Me neither. Okay. I like this one. Animal sounds.
Moo, bark, meow.
Good job.
Yeah.
I said that would be entertaining.
That was good. Space travel.
Rocket, alien, moon.
Pretty good. Pretty good. All right.
Okay. Things you love about your wife.
Oh, smart, hot.
I'm not counting.
Oh my goodness. Why is this so hard?
4, 5. Sorry, Jen.
There's too many things. Fashionable is what I was like, my brain was like picturing the clothes and stuff, and I just couldn't get a word out.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Oh, man.
I debated.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
This is where it gets fun. January 6th.
Calendar year date. I don't know. Well, the first thing that came to my head was my grandpa's birthday, but that's the second. And so I was like, never mind.
This is kind of blowing my mind right now.
That I don't have anything for January 6th.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened on January 6th, Elisa?
No. December 6th was... Never mind.
I love this.
What year are we talking?
This year.
Give me a moment. 2021.
Yeah, 2021, January 6th. Did something important happen on that day?
Couple days after New Year's.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea.
Very interesting situation that hasn't happened before in the United States of America.
Was the president inaugurated on January 6th?
You're in a ballpark.
The first female vice president?
Okay, we're gonna go a little deeper here.
Okay.
There was something that happened at the U.S. Capitol.
Oh, what do you call it? The word that's coming to mind is like overtaking the U.S. Capitol. Right? I don't know.
Whatever you want to call it, yeah. So
what would you call it?
That's what you weren't
okay.
dredging up.
So then when is the inauguration? Was it before or after that?
Was that the inauguration day?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Well, I don't know. I'm bad at.
I think it might have been after that.
I know that's like the day when I think the Senate held that vote. I'm not gonna. This isn't the What I Know podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's funny. I think probably you were thinking like local stuff and stuff like relevant to like your immediate life, because you thought about your grandpa right away.
Yeah.
Whereas like,
but I would have thought of like news events generally.
Okay.
I just couldn't think of anything.
Okay. That's the nature of this game.
Yeah. Okay, I'm hoping this one is an easy one.
I'm just glad you didn't get another point.
Yeah, I'm doing good besides that one. Okay, we'll see what other questions he has in store. You ready? Gaming systems.
GameCube, Super Nintendo, Nintendo Entertainment System.
When is that one?
What?
Is that the original?
That was the original, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Although, I mean, the original Nintendo, I think, was called the Famicom in Japan. But in the US, it was just the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Okay. And then that was Nintendo 64 next?
So it was Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Wii, Nintendo Wii U, and then the current generation, which is the Switch.
Wii Switch. Interesting. You didn't say any Xbox, PlayStation?
I needed to go to like down. My lizard brain went straight to Nintendo. That was my formative years gaming system. Okay. Vacation.
Florida beach. Sunshine. Does that count? They're all that related.
Counts. That counts. Yeah.
Okay. I almost considered doing that. All right, this is literally my next card. Maybe you can see that. Nope, you can't. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Places to go on vacation.
Japan, Colombia, Israel.
Wow. Have you been to all of those?
Yes.
I almost put places you've traveled, but...
All right. Are you psyched for this one?
Yeah. I'm just thinking of all the dates now.
Climate change.
Polar bears. Thermal... heat.
Yes. I don't know if I don't think I can count that one. Yeah.
I don't think those are good.
You were past the time limit.
Well, yeah.
I think the answers were good, especially polar bears. That was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ice. I couldn't think of icebergs. I could have just said ice. Okay. Drinks.
Cocktails. Ice. Liquor.
Okay. I almost wanted to put whiskey.
This is hard.
Types of whiskey. Would you have been able to do that? Because I don't know.
I would have said Scotch, and then I probably would have said rye, and then I might have.
I didn't know if you would have gone like for brand names or brewers, distilleries. Is that what they're called?
I think I would have short circuited before getting one of those out.
Okay.
All right. Supermodel.
Hot, thin, high heels.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Things found in a closet.
Spiders. Cockroaches. Hair.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what I can tell you Rylan's closet does not look like that. But what is the closet you're picturing in your head?
I pictured like, I think I was picturing kind of like what you might see in like a little closet under the stairs here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where Harry Potter would stay.
Right.
I thought we might get a little more interesting on that one. Said it was like worst fears closet.
Yeah. Okay. Dessert.
Cake, cookie, ice cream.
Wow, that was fast.
I like my dessert.
Yeah. Yeah, those ready to go.
As I'm imagining them, I'm just chocolate cake, and then I'm imagining like an a la mode with a cookie. Cookie and ice cream. I actually don't like cookie or ice cream for dessert that much, though.
I don't eat a lot of desserts. Oh my goodness. Okay. Chen made this delicious, I don't think it was necessarily intended to be a dessert, but she made like granola bars this week. And she made it with dates So like a thick layer of dates to like bind all the oats and the walnuts together.
Yeah.
It was so good and very sweet. I loved it.
Nice. Yeah. I like the like no bake granola protein balls. They're like dessert to me. Not protein balls, but whose turn is it? Mine. Okay. Things to take on an adventure.
Knife, skateboard, and jetpack.
Interesting. I like the adventure. I'm trying to imagine a guy skateboarding down the street with a knife, and then he goes. Shoo.
Yeah, if your skateboard like flies off a cliff as you're skateboarding, you've got the jetpack as a fallback plan. Okay. And you need the knife.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. Okay. Supply chain.
Worker, computer chips, cars. I don't know.
Great. You nailed that one.
What's interesting?
I think that was the hardest one.
Okay, yeah. No, January 6th was the hardest one for me.
I think it's the hardest one that I came up with.
Yeah. So it is true that computer chips are being affected in the car industry, which is why I said cars too.
Well, and chips in general.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Supply chain, man. No, what I always think is interesting is I feel like I know a handful of people now that have majored in like supply chain management. And that was just not a thing I knew existed when I went to college. So I'm like surprised so many people do, but I just didn't go to a big school. So maybe I wouldn't know. Anyway, things to do in the winter.
Hot cocoa, fireplace, slippers.
Nice. I guess, put on your slippers.
Yeah, maybe I could have phrased it better. Okay. Art.
Painting. Artist. Museum.
I don't think artist counts.
Paintbrush.
Oh, okay. You got it.
Just relate words to each other.
You got it.
Oh, I don't have any. Oh, yeah, I do. I was like, where'd my other code go? Date ideas.
Ooh, boxing match. Why did I say that?
One more second.
Pig race.
Time. It could work.
Should we just end the episode now? Okay.
I mean, okay.
I don't think I got that one. I only answered 2.
Yeah.
Right? I was trying to think of interesting date ideas instead of
ice skating,
watch a movie,
dinner,
which is fun. These are all fun things.
Yep.
But, yeah. Okay. Friendship.
Secrets, slumber parties. I don't know.
All right. Secrets and slumber parties.
I'm just thinking of when I was a child.
I don't know who won. It might have been pretty even.
We'll call it a tie. We can go back and count the points this week.
Maybe I'll tally it up during the editing.
Yeah.
One more category.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Gene editing.
Engineering. Foods. I don't know.
All right.
I even had time to prepare for that. Spoiler. But I did not. Yeah, I feel like I just randomly brought this topic up this week, and I don't really know what made me think of it, per se. I just feel like I've been asked questions about genetic engineering often, and so I was like, it's an interesting topic.
So when you brought it up, I thought you were talking like just about humans, but when you answered the little question there in the game, you also brought up like, I don't remember what you said.
Food.
Yeah, food.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a component about this that I wasn't really thinking about.
No, and like when I was trying to think of like a good substantial question to ask, when I was like Googling stuff, a lot of stuff that came up was like food, GE foods, genetically modified. Oh, GM. I had to forget when they're saying when it's GM free or.
Yeah, GMO.
GMO, yes.
Genetically modified
organisms, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of that stuff came up. That's why I think I thought of that during that thing.
So can we, I want to set some definitions first, or at least one definition.
Yeah.
Because I think like for genetically modifying stuff, there's like like breeding, right? Like selective breeding. So like when you breed for a particular trait, I don't think we're really talking about that, right? We're talking about more like actually like going into the DNA, chopping stuff out, putting different things in.
Yep.
Like, okay.
I don't know if that, is that what they do? I was going to say, I'm imagining a scientist in a lab. Maybe a doctor does this? I don't even know.
Who knows? We certainly don't.
No.
But we can imagine. And then, yeah. So I guess I'm not, like things like Brussels sprouts and I think broccoli are like human-made things. And I don't know if that was from like selective breeding of plants or if we actually like opened up a genome and ripped things out and put things in.
Yeah, I don't know either. I feel like, selective breeding, I don't know. Because when I was imagining GMO things, and I could be completely off, I should look at this, but I thought it was to help farmers be able to grow stuff that grows better, easier to like make a good crop that's consistent. That's what I always imagined with the food, but
I suspect Brussels sprouts have been bred to be tastier recently.
I have,
because when I was
started liking them.
I did not like them, but now I love them.
So this is not a diss on my childhood because I actually really enjoyed this. But we always, whenever we had vegetables, it was always like the steam fresh that you put in the microwave. Mm-hmm. And that's how I thought you ate vegetables. I had no idea that like there were actual Brussels sprouts you could buy to like cook them however you do, like in the oven or steaming them even yourself. I always just thought they were frozen and you just steam them.
Like that was the only way to eat?
Yeah. Which I think that's why back then I didn't like them as much because they were a little more scary.
Yeah, my parents always bought like frozen, like mixed medley of veggies, and I hated that because like the combination of like pea and carrot like is just bad.
I don't mind it.
But like if you take those things separately, you can make them actually taste pretty good with like the right sauces and stuff. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
I know. Oh, it just keeps me going down a path though. I did want to bring up one more thing about Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
I have to.
Let's go.
When I went to the farmer's market a couple weekends ago, I didn't realize how they grow, and you could literally buy a stalk and it just has all the Brussels sprouts on it. Did you realize that that's...
No.
Yeah.
It's like really a staff?
Cool. Yeah, it was like a stick, and I almost bought it just to bring it home to show Dan.
Oh.
But I was like, I don't want to cut all those off myself.
Sure.
But yeah, it's cool.
That is cool. I had no idea.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so this conversation I think is going to be more focused on like actually taking a genome, taking things out, putting things in.
Yes.
Whether it's for plants or animals or humans.
Yeah.
Which some people say are animals.
Well, yeah, because, that brings me... I was just thinking we'd focus on humans. We can talk about everything, but I didn't even think about animals as an option. So that would be... Like, I would want to know the reasoning behind doing something like that with animals. Do you know of any? Besides, like, maybe, like, pets.
Yeah, I was thinking about, like, dogs, but that's more of a selective breeding thing where they breed for certain traits. And obviously there's some, like, unethical stuff there. Yeah. Like, pugs come to mind with, like, the smooshed faces and how that, like, actually impairs their breathing.
Yep.
I think there's, like, a breeder now that's, like, trying to breed away from that. So he's taking, like, purebred pugs and like breeding them so they have like normal or more normal snouts.
Yep.
So that's good. I don't know if like actual DNA editing is happening with pets.
So, and do you think it's actually happening? Well,
I think it is
actually happening.
I think it's happening for like I recall with like chickens, they're like doing something so they like produce way more meat than normal. Okay. So they're kind of like little chicken like abominations that produce more meat.
Huh. Do you know we need an expert. I was gonna say, do you know if they like do it up when the chicken is alive or they're like creating the chickens?
I think they have edited the genome and then actually I don't know. We need an expert.
Yeah. I feel like you could go down so many different rabbit holes with this topic because there is so much that is potentially going on or could go on in the future. But yeah, as far as humans,
Have you seen Gattaca?
no. Is that a movie?
Yeah. So it's like an older movie, but it's about a society where gene editing for humans is really commonplace. But it's like only the families with like enough money can afford to do it for their kids, right? So like they'll edit the genome so that the kid won't have like any health conditions, and they'll be like,
is this like before it's born or like once it's a human out of the body?
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Okay.
I think it's like while they're in the womb or something.
Okay.
But yeah, so like the society is like has like all these people who are more well off, who have like, I don't know if perfect's the right word, but like healthy DNA, meaning they don't have like any congenital heart conditions and things like that. But also like companies screen their employees. Like they do like urine tests to test their DNA to make sure that they've got like a clean genome. Like they won't like get sick on the job and stuff. So they like screen candidates for that and like regularly test employees in some jobs. And so like the people whose parents like weren't able to afford the gene editing aren't able to like get the good jobs, because the best employers want people that like won't get sick as often, and they don't need to worry about like that kind of stuff happening. Yeah. So it like creates this like stratification of the different like socioeconomic groups.
Yeah, I feel like if we started allowing parents to edit genes of their children, I feel like we would start to get like, I'm thinking of like a cycle. Yeah, kind of like you said, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer type thing. Right. Is what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I feel like that happens with so many things. So like my can I pose a question?
Yeah.
Is that like, do you think that would actually happen? Like, do you think there would be stratification, or do you think we like our social sciences would have a solution for that, like a way to like counterbalance it?
Well, when I originally thought of this before talking about the like stratification, I don't know if that's the right word. I was thinking that like people would start modifying the genes to make their children better. And I was thinking it would kind of be across the board, because I wasn't really thinking about the cost of it. It's like if it were a thing, it just seems like people would just gradually start doing it. If there were like no seemingly issues with it, everyone would start doing it. And I feel like you could make people smarter. You could make people more attractive. You could make people, healthier or something. And then all of a sudden we would like kind of converge to like an ideal human, and everyone would be similar. And that made me worried, because even if we're all similar, I feel like we would all like be like, well, I don't want a certain job. I don't know. I feel like we would start losing people filling in roles of other jobs, unless people still had their own personality traits. Then it might be okay. I say that very loosely. But
I imagine like in your scenario that you've painted where people like it's so widespread and there's kind of like an ideal like physical state that people would probably get plastic surgery to look different. Like I think people would do things to like make themselves look unusual.
Interesting. Like right now it's like you might think there's a beauty standard, and so you try to conform to it, but now it's like if everyone's conformed to it, you want to stand out almost. I could see that, because even I feel like famous people almost have like both of that. Like they want to be the best because they're seen all the time, but also have something that stands out to make them stand out and be more famous, maybe.
Like,
yeah,
what's that classic, Cindy Crawford and the Mole?
Yep.
You know?
Yep. See, I don't even, when you said Cindy Crawford, that's not who I thought of, but when she said that, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I know who that is.
So do you think there's an ethical difference between like editing someone's genome to prevent health conditions versus editing someone's genome to make them smarter, faster, stronger, more attractive?
Yeah, I do. I still am like very skeptical of the idea of genome editing in general, but
What makes you skeptical?
because I think it will be misused for like, well, I say misused because of the question you asked. Like, I don't think we should necessarily be able to make people like smarter, faster, like all that stuff.
But aren't those good traits?
I suppose so. But I feel like the world will function very differently. And I guess we've already like changed the world a lot through technology anyway. So maybe we can see that it works, and we can also like try to reverse some of the things that maybe we've done poorly, like global warming. I'll bring up your climate change. Like maybe we can try to reverse some of that. But because we built cars and we've built buildings and like that stuff, making it worse for the world to live in, maybe we can do the opposite. But I feel like our society will be really thrown off if we keep editing people to be better. I say that in quotes because like I feel like everyone has such different traits that like people excel at different things better than others.
So what is like, you use the word different, use the word thrown off. Those are both kind of, well, different's kind of a neutral term. Thrown off implies some kind of like chaos. But I guess I want to know, like, where's the negative aspects of maybe gene editing in general, or if you want to focus it on like gene editing for intelligence and attractiveness and things like that.
Well, I feel like the negative part is kind of like what I was explaining before, where everyone starts to be similar, and we can't say like you deserve to be the CEO and get so much money per year versus you're an accountant. I don't know. Not that that's bad, but like maybe the personality, like I was saying, maybe the personality traits will overcompensate for that, but I think it will just turn into a dysfunctional society, maybe, is what I'm thinking.
Okay. So the similarity that you've brought up, that's what you see as a negative thing,
yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. But going back to like your kind of like disease, like maybe disease prevention or curing of diseases, I feel like that could be I feel like that would be maybe the first step we go with it. Mm-hmm. And because I think that would be improving people's health. I feel like we're always doing that.
That's certainly the easiest one to defend, I think.
Yeah.
Because like if you know your child is going to be born with, I don't know, some condition, like an autoimmune condition, and if you can just swap out that one little section of their genome and make it so they don't have that condition, maybe you would take that step.
Yeah. And like then you might get into the problem of like probably the population might increase once we start figuring out those little things. Maybe we'll get older.
Because people live longer?
Yep. Well, just more babies are maybe born, or they live longer.
Because the infant mortality would decrease.
Yeah.
Even more
like
than
that.
it already is.
Yep. And like
I feel like infant mortality is already low enough where you wouldn't see a dramatic impact to like actual births.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
But then people might live longer because they don't have the underlying conditions or something that would cause earlier deaths.
That would be interesting for like the pension area, right?
Yeah. I also think it's interesting. What if we do start living to be older and older because we can cure more things? Will we be happy as we get older and older, or will we still look and feel really old? Like, I don't know. So I'm like, it's kind of like, I feel like our bodies aren't necessarily built to withstand the like technology or changes that we put upon ourselves, maybe. Because I almost feel like my aunt's a doctor, and I remember this one thing she told me. I was probably young. I might be interpreting it wrong, but she was saying how people's knees and stuff are just so much worse nowadays than they might have been like back in like the old Western days or something, because we walk on concrete all day. Mm-hmm. So, and she's a rheumatologist. So not rheumatologist, no, arthritis. Is it arthritis?
She's a rheumatologist.
Okay. Yeah. So she focuses on knees and stuff like that often. So I just kind of believed her. I don't know. But yeah, because we walk on concrete all day, and it's just like not great ground to like put our bodies through.
Yeah.
That it like breaks them down more. And so I just wonder if we start modifying ourselves, keep making us live longer, I don't know if we have the ability to enjoy that living longer as much too. I don't know.
That is a concern. There's like, years where you're thriving in life, and then there's years where like your health has deteriorated to the point where life isn't as enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of people living longer in general, because the more people that live longer, the more people that live to like 120, the more pressure there is on scientists and medical professionals to figure out ways to improve our quality of life for those older years.
Yeah.
Like if, 0.0001% of people live to be above 100, there's not a lot of pressure. But if like 2% of people live to be that old, then suddenly there's like a real reason to improve quality of life for that period of time.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Relating it back to the actuarial field is kind of funny. I feel like we used to use mortality tables that went to 100 years old, and now it's like 120 or even 150, which is interesting because I remember going through like having to update tables to 120, and I'm just like, wow, the world is changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we would focus a lot more on those older people. That's a good point. And trying to improve the quality of life there too. Like, yeah, kind of like I'm saying, like we impose a change on our lives, and if it turns out bad, then we just start figuring out other changes to add on to our lives.
Yeah, there's always like a chaser to every technological change that we make.
Yeah. And that's what I was kind of thinking about the vaccine. I don't know if you want to talk about this, but I was like, well, if something bad happened with the vaccine, so many people got it, they'd have to figure out something so we don't all die, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I was like. I was like, yeah, I trust these scientists to save my life if everyone's lives need to be saved. So maybe a question for you, like I kind of said, if I think making the perfect human, if I agree with it or not, do you think it's a good idea?
Let me parse my thoughts out on this. So editing, here's what I would like. Editing the genome to prevent certain conditions. I like that idea. And I think like if you're able to, like, let's say edit in the womb somebody's genome so they don't have, whatever health condition, I think that would save society a lot of time, hardship, cost. And so I think you could defend a government-run program that just like pays to edit out all, heart conditions, right? Something like that. So I like that idea. And I think that's something that because you can point to it and say, okay, yeah, it costs $1,000 to do this editing on every baby, but that $1,000 that you're spending to edit that out is saving, $100,000 20 years down the road.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of being able to roll out some program that just blanket corrects things like that. And I think I wouldn't have any ethical quandary with it if it's rolled out in that way, because everyone gets equal access to it.
Yep.
That's if, there's a lot of like, conditionals that I'm putting on that. But
yeah.
And then there's like editing for intelligence and strength and attractiveness, all these fun things. That makes me feel icky because, and I'm going to take us down two roads. So there's one road where not everyone can afford it, and it's not like a government program. And that leads to, like I was saying earlier, the stratification, I think. I think it'd be really hard for society to like counterbalance that in some way, right? Like the chaser, I think is hard to do. Like social sciences aren't very good at quick response. Right. At least like our current political system and like the way information moves, I think is just not conducive to like that kind of correction. Because it's not a technological fix at that point. It's like something in society. And it's hard for me to imagine a situation where like that kind of like gene editing would roll out and not cause some pretty major issues. Unless the cost was so high to like achieve those changes that only like the hyper rich Bezoses and Musks can pull it off, then I don't think it would have too much of a impact on society. Okay, anyway, so that's one path. The other path is like it's cheap. Like let's say it costs $500, $1,000 which I know is not super cheap, but it's at least affordable for, a
Especially
larger
like a health related.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe 50-60% of the US would make the effort to like pay for that kind of treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, oh man, I don't know. I think that might be super bad anyway, because I think you'll still have like the stratification.
Yeah, I'm even thinking when you said like it's available to everyone, like a government type program, I still feel like I've learned that even like, what am I trying to say? Healthcare that's even available to anyone, like maybe even free of cost, I feel like the lower income people still have a hard time accessing that type of healthcare.
True.
Too.
Like not all hospitals would have like the technology to do it. Yeah. That's a really good point.
Yep. So that would have to be another.
Let's just scrap the whole.
Yeah.
It's hard to think of a way that we could roll out that kind of editing.
Yeah.
And have it still be like a good thing for society.
Yep.
But it would be cool to be like hyper smart, super strong.
I think could this happen? What if you like set all these standards for your child? Maybe not, whatever. You like checked box what you want out of your child, but then it's not exactly what you imagined when you like checked that box, Like, would you be disappointed? Like you said, I want them to be smart, but they didn't get a 36 on the ACT type thing. Like, would you be disappointed? And like,
well, at least you would know that it's not the genetics getting in the way, right?
That's true, yeah, because there's a lot of other factors besides nature versus nurture.
Sure, yeah. Then you know it's just your bad parenting.
Yo, wow. It's like children aren't, it's not their test of their smarts anymore. It's a test of their parents. Yeah,
now you don't have an excuse.
Yeah.
Like, the genes are fine.
And I also wonder, like, if you say what, I guess for attractiveness would be in your own eyes, what is attractive too? It would be still subjective. Because, like, some people might like blonde hair, some people might like brown hair. So, maybe we would have a lot more different things than I am imagining. I don't imagine the same looking person, but I imagine the same, like, ability to achieve success type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do like editing away of certain conditions. There's some things though that's like, I mean, take something like anxiety, which for some people is very debilitating, but for some people it can be like a boon in some ways, right? Like some people with anxiety are really able to detect like changes in facial features, which makes them like pick up on emotions a lot easier, right? So like if you, I don't even know if there is a gene for anxiety or if it's just like a nurture thing, but like if you're able to like turn that off, like I don't think we would want nobody in society to have that feature because it's in some cases it's a feature, not a bug,
Yep.
So there's some like I'm just trying to think of like all these other conditions, like being deaf, there's like a whole like deaf culture, right? And I don't know, it gets real. There's like a lot of like gray area with this kind of stuff.
There is. I almost feel like they would have to start with like a list of specific conditions that they would.
Right.
I say I'm thinking of like that the government would cover kind of if there was like an overall program for it. But I feel like they would have to be conditions that very costly. And I'm even thinking like the government probably spends money on some of these costly conditions.
Very costly and like going along
for
with
life.
Yeah, like pure bad.
Yeah.
Right? Not like a mixed thing or like a personality thing.
Yeah.
Like a heart condition. I don't think there's any upside that I can think of, but sound off in the comments if I'm missing something here.
Yeah.
Like a heart condition, like you've only got one lung unless we switch this gene and now you got two lungs. That's good, right? So like that kind of editing I think is all upside.
Yeah.
But like autism, I mean, that can be a very good thing.
Yep.
Depending on like how to affects the individual, right?
Yeah, and I'm almost thinking now, like, if we start changing things and like people who are existing, like already existing people have these conditions or anything, like if we start changing things like autism, like will they think like, oh, autism must be bad now? Like that would be like hurtful is like how I want to say it. Yeah. So it would be an interesting time. Do you think it will happen in our lifetime where they really consider this type of thing? Because I don't think so.
Well, on like a wide scale, maybe. Yeah. I mean, maybe in 20, 30 years, I could see that. I mean, we've already got CRISPR technology and people are already like sitting at home, like editing their own genes. So like there's certainly like a drive even at like the DIY level to do this kind of stuff.
I don't know what this is. What is CRISPR technology?
I don't know how it works, and maybe I'm not the person to speak on it. Okay. But it is a way to like edit genes, and you can like edit your genes, Elisa. You can do it. Yeah, but I really don't know anything about it. I remember watching like a show about like people like in their garage like using CRISPR technology to try to like they're like injecting themselves with like their modified genome.
Yep. Interesting.
It weirds me out, and it's definitely not safe to do. So I don't recommend it. But this is something that people are doing.
Yeah.
So like
I can't imagine it. If you could change a gene about yourself, would you? If you had that capability?
Oh, I wasn't expecting it. Give me a sec.
You can like keep it high level too. Of like, I wish my ears were smaller. I
mean, the first thing that came to mind is my autoimmune condition, because it affects me. It affects me almost every day, and I've gotten really good at like managing it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like one of the things is like sunlight can cause a flare up.
Yep.
And so that means like I have to be careful just like being outside sometimes.
Yeah.
And like put on sunblock and stuff, and I really hate like the necessary obnoxiousness of sunblock.
Yeah.
So like if I could just but the other so if I could just turn it off, that seems like really appealing because it would save me so much annoyance. Yeah. And then like when I do get sick, it can kind of wipe me out for a bit, and it'd be nice to like not have to deal with that. On the other hand, it's taught me to be like a lot more chill and relaxed and kind of like roll with the punches a lot better than what I feel like most people are able to, because I have to keep my stress levels down in order to like kind of manage my immune system.
Yep.
So like I've learned a lot of techniques that I think really help me out and are very like formative to my personality. And so if I didn't have the autoimmune condition, you know, growing up and through young adulthood, I would be a different person right now. So
yeah.
So like if I could turn it off now, yeah, probably. Because I feel like I'm pretty stable in my personality.
Yep.
But 15 years ago, I think that would have been a mistake because the person I am today would not be who you see on camera right now.
Yeah. So it's almost like looking back. I don't know where I was going with that. I lost my train of thought there. But now I'm kind of wondering, like, if you could wish upon someone else that they could change their genes, like
I would never
with
wish
the same
upon
condition.
Someone else.
Okay. But yeah, that's interesting.
It's hard because a lot of these things, even negative, you know, conditions, can be so formative to like who the person is, who they become. And like my autoimmune condition, I view it as like a part of me at this point, because so much of like what I think about and like how I like treat my life is like just kind of like managing that and being aware of it.
Yeah. That did kind of make me think, like, I feel like people these days like think Gen Z has it so easy because a lot of things, they haven't gone through the same adversity as like other people. And I mean like going to my grandparents, like Great Depression type thing, like different adverse events that they went through. And I feel like that's similar to what you're saying. You wouldn't be the person you are without that adversity, I guess.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I feel like different people have that. And that would be something that gets I don't know how that would change society if we all eliminated like that adversity aspect. If we all think we always get the easy road and don't know how to not be on the easy road.
I mean, there will always be hardship though. So like turning off, a lot of conditions. I mean, there's still going to be like bad parents, bad neighborhoods,
tornadoes.
Yeah, exactly. Natural disasters. There's always going to be something, random car crash. So I don't think we're wanting for adversity, and that's all formative stuff too.
That's a good point. Now I'm thinking of just changing society overall. There's no car accidents. There's no hurricanes.
So would you edit anything in your own genome?
Kind of like I wouldn't, because I feel like I know who I am and I'm okay with that. I feel like if I was at a different point in my life, maybe I would be like a little more self-conscious about things and like maybe want to easily change those types of things. But I think that would be, I don't know if I can necessarily do that. I was kind of talking about my ears. Like if I think my ears are big, I don't know if I could just all of a sudden right now, like scientifically speaking, change what my ears look like because they're already grown. I think that would have to be something done at like before I was born while my ears are forming, don't you think?
Yeah, it sounds more like a plastic surgery kind of thing.
Now that would be how I change it. And so like, I don't think I would change anything. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff I'd want to change, but I think I'm so like comfortable where I am now that I would be okay not ever having to do something like that maybe.
Cool. Yeah. No, that's good, right?
It is. Yeah. It feels weird though.
What feels weird?
Because now I'm trying to think of like, what would I change? Because like, I feel like people are always wanting to be better or change something.
Longer arms or
no. Oh, maybe I'd want to be taller so I could have played volleyball longer.
Oh.
But yeah, if I was taller to start, no, that'd be pretty cool. Because I'm thinking of where I am now, but if we're talking about further back, maybe there'd probably be things I'd change further back. But now I'm an adult.
So if you could go back to the womb and have blank, would you?
Maybe. But I'm even thinking
like 3 more inches of height or something.
Yeah. I mean, today, if I were to decide that today, I would say no. But I'm thinking if I were in high school, like my freshman year of high school,
I see.
Maybe then I would have said yes type thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I feel like I would have thought of myself differently back then than I do now. And now I'm like, my life is great because I didn't play volleyball through professional. I didn't even finish it through college. So and I still enjoyed the time that I did have with volleyball, and I'm over it now. But my freshman year of high school, I feel like I had all these aspirations to like go further. And then I would be like, I want to be taller. At the same time, I feel like I'm pretty tall. I'm 5'8", I think.
Oh. So
like I feel pretty tall when I compare myself, like thinking about getting a boyfriend, for example. I kind of want him to be taller, and that's harder when you're taller. And so there's like both that I'm like, do I want to be taller? Do I not? For volleyball, I'd want to be taller.
This is a tangent, but I've got this like weird perception issue where I never know how tall people are. Like I think about like any person that I know, and I don't know if they're taller than me or shorter than me.
Like even unless you're around often.
Yeah. Unless I like really like focus and I'm like, all right, figure it out. Are they taller or shorter? And then I can get it. And then, but I have to like force myself to remember. Yeah. But like, I think about like my personal trainer. I meet with him 3 days a week. I have no idea if he's taller than me or shorter than me. Like people I work with, like see every day, and I just won't know.
It's kind of the weird thing about being virtual. Like if you work from home or have virtual meetings and stuff of someone you've never met in person. See, I do have a perception of like this person that I see over a video. I've never seen them in real life. I have a perception of how tall I think they are, but it's like usually different. I think I usually imagine them as average height. Like I just imagine, you are a person's height. You're probably similar to me, or maybe slightly shorter, slightly taller.
Wild. What else did you want to talk about with ethics and gene editing?
I think we hit. I have a little note card. I think we pretty much hit the things I said, like, will it permanently change society? Where we draw the line, kind of like the disease versus like attractiveness, strength type.
Why did you write ideal hummus?
It's humans. Ideal humans.
Oh.
We could make the best hummus ever.
That's where our gene editing technology should go.
Yeah.
Get those chickpeas, like top tier.
Oh, yeah. Flavor them without additional added flavor.
Ooh, like add some like garlic genes to the chickpeas.
Garlic and chickpeas combined.
Ooh, doggy.
I don't think I appreciated garlic until like within the past year, and now I love garlic.
Year? It's so good.
I think my mom used to put garlic in everything, and I was like, I don't really like garlic, but I love it now. Everything bagel seasoning has garlic in it. I make toast in the morning, and you can't see the bread. It is everything bagel seasoning.
Okay, you're making me too hungry, and that's usually where I end the episode.
We can't do that.
Let's do our last segment before I cut us off.
Speaking of everything bagels, have you ever made one in your dream home?
We got to work on these. Yeah, so we went to a home viewing like extravaganza with a few friends. This is a couple weeks back. And how many homes did we see? Six or seven?
Seven, I think.
Okay.
And they're like brandly new built, so like a new, I forget what you call it.
New construction.
Yes, new construction, and then very well decorated inside. Like they had professional interior designers.
Fully
inside.
Staged. Yeah.
Yes. All the technical terms.
I don't know if that's the right word, actually.
It might be.
Staged or... okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's staging.
And I think they were all waterfront properties.
Yes.
And they were all between like, what was it, 800,000 and 1.6, 1.5 million?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Nice places.
Mm-hmm.
Little overpriced, I felt. A little high. But I know some people value the waterfront, so that's probably
that might be what added. And I think new constructions in general are going to be more expensive than the same size house that's already built somewhere that's been lived in. But yeah, I feel like they were all like fairly different from each other and definitely had their own unique characteristics. And I think it helped me form an opinion of like what I do and don't like, because one thing I thought I liked going, like when I imagine my house, I want it like super modern, black and white, grays. Like I want it kind of clean, crisp and clean like that. But after looking at these houses, I don't want that. I decided, I was like, it made me, like one house specifically that was like that, I was like, it made me feel like I was stepping into some celebrity's home that they visit like once or twice a year. And it's like set up for them. It's a perfect, like party throwing house type thing versus actually living in. And so I decided I kind of like the more like calm down, livable atmosphere of a home.
Yeah, that I'm just thinking about that one home, my home that we.
Yes.
So yeah. I think there were 7 of us, and each of us we assigned one of the houses to as like just kind of like a fun, this is my house.
Yeah.
And mine was, I think, the most homey feeling, which is really nice. They had like probably the least amount of like extravagant amenities.
Yep.
But also had like a nice, cozy, welcoming environment. I really like that.
And I think your home, so that is the home I'm thinking of that I just loved. And it like maybe was a little more, I don't know the terms for this stuff. Like I want to say farmhousey, but it wasn't farmhousey at all. I want to say it was like, I don't know. It was comforting, kind of like you said. And a lot of the rooms were pretty big, though, I thought, too, compared to houses I've seen. It almost seemed like too much space in a room.
Here's what I liked. When you first opened the front door, and instead of it being like a tight little hallway nook area, it just like opened up right away. The ceiling went up pretty quickly. So it felt like, I don't know, it felt like you were being drawn into like the rest of the home, and the living room was like visible. And, yeah, it just looked very nice.
It was wide open. I did really like that. And you kind of talked about the ceilings being high. I feel like part of that might be it was a ranch style house, like
Mm-hmm.
one floor. And I'm usually like very against that. And I think it's because I grew up in like a 3-story. I think I had like 3 stories, and I loved how you could like go up the stairs and like go to different areas of the house. And then I lived in a ranch style like for like when I was 10 years old and older or something. And I didn't like it as much because you're stuck on the same floor type thing. But I think this changed my mind. I was like, I think I like ranch style because it's so like, it makes the floor feel so much bigger maybe. Whereas if there's a lot of floors on top of each other, you like go up, there's 2 rooms. You go down, there's like a kitchen and a living room. You go down, there's another room and a room.
Right.
And it feels very segmented. And I kind of liked the like whole connectedness of a single floor. So I might be changing my mind on that.
Okay. I thought, so one of the houses, and I think that the idea of this segment is we're just going to rattle off like some of the things that we really desire in like the ultimate home.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, I really like that homey feel.
Yep.
But there are a couple features of some of the other houses that I thought were totally dope. So like the one house where every room had a little digital panel where you could like adjust the temperature and the music, and it was all like keyed into the same like audio system. That was super cool. Like I love the idea of like being able to go into any room and be like, all right, I'm gonna like do the blinds, like hit this button. I'm gonna like turn off the music in this room because I hate having noise and like all that kind of stuff. And then like, you know, Chen could be in another room, like have her music going and like put the blinds up. So like there's like the sun
Imagine you
coming
guys
in.
going back and forth. I want the blinds down. I want the blinds up.
We already do with light switches. So why not like, you know, do that with blinds and music too. Like I just like the easy access functionality because I don't like walking all the way over to the window, twiddling the things that the blinds like close, and then like there's no like speakers in the room because we don't have like a house hooked up for that. But like the idea of like being able to like have everything like super connected like that and easy to like handle in the moment, that convenience is great.
I agree. I'd be worried. I wouldn't be worried enough not to have it because I think that'd be super awesome too. But I'd be worried that like at the pace that technology moves, it would just get outdated super fast. And then you'd have to have someone come in, update it, fix it. So I'd hope it'd be almost so technologically capable of like having updates. So like I'm even thinking like if you like back in the day, not that far, iTunes was like where you bought all your music, but now it's like you only stream it on like Spotify or something similar. So like would that be able to change if we move away from streaming music? I don't know. I don't know what would happen in the future, but I'd hope it'd be easily changed. Otherwise your house would be outdated again, which I guess happens anyway. I
mean, if you don't have any system, then you're definitely outdated, right?
Yeah, for sure. I was trying to think, do you have like a...
Also, at the point that you're buying $1 million plus home, I feel like if it gets outdated, you'll get it changed. Yeah.
Afford it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, some of these are very hypothetical. Like, this is what I dream of, but can I actually get that? I don't know about that.
Right.
We can always dream. But yeah, I kind of wrote like the high tech stuff is what I would want. Would you want, if you bought a house that would be like the perfect house for you to live in forever, would you want it to be like a waterfront property? Would you want to experience all 4 seasons? Would you only want that heat? If you could control like where it was too?
I have no desire for a waterfront property. I mean, it wouldn't be bad, but for me, it doesn't provide any additional value. So I wouldn't like want to pay the extra money for a waterfront property.
Yep.
Well, wait, what was the rest of the question?
Like, would you want to place it in like,
where 4
would
seasons
you want
and
it?
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. This is interesting because like Chen and I have been looking at like different articles that show like where climate change will impact the United States. So like, you know, obviously coastlines, like if sea level rises, there are like stretches of land that will no longer be viable as like a home.
Yeah.
And so like just looking at like the climate change impact in different regions has helped us like determine where we want to make sure that we're living. And like also we look at it for like, where our parents are living and stuff like that. So like where we're at now is actually pretty good. And in some ways it's like a benefit to where we're living.
Okay.
If climate change continues in the way that it is. So all that to say, we have a very forward-thinking mindset about where we live. Like, I like the idea of having 4 seasons and also it being like future-proof against changes to the climate.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
How about you?
I don't think I care enough. I don't mind the winter, and I'd want a house that's easily livable and during the winter. Like, for example, I don't want to be sliding on ice getting up to my house at the top of a hill type thing. I want it to be easy to like get to, and or almost like I'm almost thinking of it being secluded. Like, I have to hire people to like shovel me out just to go somewhere in the middle of winter? I don't know. I don't like winter that much. I could do without it, but I think if, for example, I had a waterfront property, I would want it to be warm most of the year to be able to even use it. Because felt like it would be kind of pointless if I couldn't use it for at least even 3 months of the year. But maybe at that time, then I just have a second house that I go to during those months. Oh,
wow. You're really living large. Yeah. So your dream house is 2 houses.
Yeah. Or maybe just a dream house and then a vacation for 3 months.
Okay. Like a timeshare.
Yeah. Don't want one of those. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what I would want.
Here's some of the fun frills that I think I would also want in a dream house. So one of the ones that we looked at had like a little podcast studio.
It did.
And like a recording room as well that was like fully lined with this kind of cool stuff, these sound panels. I love that idea, like a dedicated space for it so that you're not like sacrificing, half your basement to have a small podcast studio. Yeah. I also liked some of the garages.
Yeah.
Like that you could like drive in the entrance, but also there's like a drive out the backside kind of thing.
That was cool.
That was sick. And then like one of those garages had a lift to like bring the boat up to like the house. Like, well, that all sounds fun.
I think some people who are really into cars too, if they have like a really fancy car, they just put on a lift when they don't drive it during the winter, for example, and then they can just store it that way, which is interesting, instead of taking up space in your garage.
Another big house feature in the dream house is the workout room. Oh,
I said the cat room.
That's a good one too. I actually didn't like the cat room that we saw.
I didn't either.
Because it had like an AC unit just like channeling air through it. It's like the least cat-friendly cat room.
There are no windows.
Yeah.
I want them to have windows.
They need the cat television.
Yeah. A workout room. Yeah. I would definitely want that.
Big time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I do enjoy, I'm someone who likes group classes, so maybe that'll change when I get older though. But I like going and working out with people. So maybe I wouldn't want a workout room right now. I don't think I'd use it.
I would. If I had more equipment here, I would use it. Like, I've just got dumbbells and that's all that I do when I'm at home now.
Yep.
But yeah, if I had like a full workout room, I would do a lot more at home. Mostly what I feel like I'm lacking right now is a cardio thing. But after our episode with Jen a couple weeks ago, I actually like found my old Dance Dance Revolution stuff, like the CDs that I've got like songs on and stuff. So like I'm a little bit closer to like getting set up for cardio.
Yeah.
And for parties, I guess.
Yeah, this guy is, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but Rylan is really good at DDR.
Please. It's big true. Yeah.
Yeah. I've witnessed it. Did I try to do one? I think so.
Yeah, you played some.
Yeah. But it's a lot. I don't know how the feet and I don't know how like the foot-eye coordination happens so well. I guess it's kind of like video games for me too. My thumbs don't do what I want them to do, but
I think most people that have taught DDR, they get the I don't know what you call it. Yeah, feet-eye coordination. They get it within like an hour or two of playing, but that requires an hour or two of playing. And most people don't do that when they start.
Well, and I think it's just like, how can you go that fast? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the speed takes a lot longer to get there. But in terms of just like seeing the screen and moving in the right direction, that comes pretty quickly. Yeah.
I feel like you even had certain techniques too. We can talk about that later, but yeah,
maybe this is for another day.
Yeah. Something else I was thinking, so like, I think I would, if I was building my dream home, I think a cat room would be really cool if I had cats. I hope I have cats. Because then I've even seen some other better ones online where like they have a million toys in there, all their food is in there. They even have like a separate room for just a litter box, which I think would be cool. Just like a single room that they can like go into, do the litter box and come out of. Because I don't know.
We kind of have that in our laundry room. There's like a separate little nook. Have you seen it?
I don't think so.
I'll show you it. It's like, there's not a door, but it's like, there's like a wall kind of partition.
Okay, yeah. I would like that to be hidden. I was thinking some people would probably like Dan, for example, would want his man cave or like place where he can turn on sports and just watch it, or hook up his video games and just play. Like,
oh yeah, one of the houses had like on the second story of that one house. That was real nice.
Yep,
that'd be a fun place to like have people like gather and eat some snacks and
gotta have an entertainment.
Watch the big game.
One thing that did bother me, there were some houses that only had like, none of these houses had basements, probably because they're waterfront.
Yeah.
But
I like a good basement though.
Yeah. Or I like at least having like, if you have all your friends over, you don't want to be in the same exact room where your parents are going to be watching TV, like their nightly movie. You want to have your own space to be doing something. And there are some rooms that didn't, or some houses that didn't have that like separation. And I didn't really like that. I do want that separation, even though now I'm on the like parent side versus the kid side. Even as a kid, I would want that. But yeah, that's important, I feel like, for a house.
Yeah. My stomach is growling.
Are you hungry?
I'm so hungry. Okay, so we practiced our outro a bit, and I'm kind of working up to it. A little bit nervous, but let's see if we can get it. Thank you all for joining us in the wardrobe.
See you later.
Was that it?
I don't know, and I didn't mean to say later either. I just felt like I needed one more.
Okay, that's fine.